Hey, what's going on, everyone? So this is another suggestion video, and since I've been doing Slayer as of late, I just hit 89. I'm already halfway through that. I'm almost 90 now. A couple more tasks down the road, and I'll get there. But there's definitely a couple issues with the Slayer system and the availability of specific targets to slay. So I guess I'll get into some things as well as perks, task weight, and drop tables. So we'll start off with multi-zone tasks. I've been using a cannon pretty much throughout the entire time I've been doing Slayer, but mainly that's because I'm going for untrimmed. But the downside to that is there's not really any multi-zone Slayer tasks available. And in all honesty, I'm pretty sure there's only one that I've been able to find on the higher tier masters, and that's Dust Devils. And they're not a good task, especially to use a cannon because you're not getting very much XP. Therefore, you're getting a lot more range XP than Slayer XP, which doesn't really help in my situation. A couple of ideas for that would be the cow fights in Neve Stronghold. Seems reasonable to me. It seems like it's there. Might as well use it. And on top of that, as I'm doing trolls right now, there's actually a multi-zone area with troll spectators and the boss dad on top of the mountain that is available, but they do not count towards your Slayer task. Would be a good zone for using a cannon as it is multi. So that is another idea. And Dagonos under the lighthouse is also a really good one, because otherwise someone like me who needs to use a cannon on just about every task to try and get where I'm going, I can't use a cannon at all on the Dagonos in the what's a Waterbirth Island dungeon, and I just lost my cannon. That's funny. So yeah, talk about not paying attention. Anywho, let's come on. Pretend that never happened. Alright, so it's like the 40th time I've lost my cannon. Who would have guessed? And the Wilderness Volcano, also known as Bounty Hunter, I think would be an interesting idea, because as of convenience of what it is of having a bunch of multi-zone tasks located in it currently, you can't actually go into the Bounty Hunter crater. But as convenience outweighs the fact that you can get PK'd and lose whatever you're wearing, I think that'd be a pretty neat idea. So that's always open for conversation. Anyways, task waiting is what we're going to talk about next. I'm sure many people who have played have noticed that keeping a Slayer streak is a pain in the ass. And that's because there's really no task rating. The task waiting is basically a system where I brought up an article on it from how RuneScape does it. Anyways, task weighting system that the Slayer Masters use to assign assignments is the percentage of chance of getting a given Slayer task that can be calculated using the formula task weight over the sum of all the task weights that the Master offers times 100. And for instance, we'll say Duradel, and all these have different task weights, and the higher the number, the more common it is of getting it, and the lower the number, the rarer it is to get the task, which helps out a lot because the majority of the tasks I end up getting are mithril dragons, black dragons, steel dragons, iron dragons, almost 200 Kiras. That's not a task I really ever want to undergo. So there's a lot of really odd chances of getting these really what would normally be a rarer task to get than a higher task like Abyssal Demons is a really common task actually. So task waiting I think would be ideal, because I have been doing Slayer and I'm almost 90 and I have 22 Slayer points because I just choose to skip all these tasks I keep getting, because I'm not going to go do Mithril Dragons or Steel Dragons or anything like that, because it's not really a great task for what I'm trying to do. But there's also the reason being that it's kind of harder to do these tasks still without there being anti-fires yet, because I have 51 Herbalore. I still can't make anti-fires, but I believe it's like, yeah, it's almost 70, so I still have a bit of a way to go. So the next thing would be Slayer perks. I think would be nice. It would make certain tasks that I would normally skip more doable, or would probably make me actually do them, such as gargoyles. Smashing gargoyles with a hammer every time you have to kill them, not really something I plan on doing. It's a little bit boring, so having the ability to actually buy a perk with Slayer points to make that automatic would be a pretty cool idea. So something like that along the lines of what they already have in OSRS. Pretty good Slayer perks. So, and drop tables. Things like, I'm not sure if these have been updated. I haven't done Skeletal Wyverns, but from what I know, the original Aerospace drop tables are pretty normal when it comes to them. So they don't really have anything good to actually drop. So really you're only fighting them for granite legs and a very smidgen chance at a dragon fire shield, which is pretty smidgen. Other than that, they don't really drop anything good. So unless their drop tables were updated, you know, they would be a very good choice as a task to make money on, or at all, because there's better ways to go about getting a dragon fire shield. So that's my idea on that. But there's other things that could get their drop tables boosted as well, of course. Kiras, Turos, Gargoyles, Dust Devils, and not sure what else had changes to the drop tables, but it made them more of a worth doing task than not, because probably done around, I'd probably say around 600 Dust Devils already, and they don't really drop anything good. I mean, their best drop is Red Vamp Races, and they only elk for like 3k, so they're not really that great. Well, technically the best drop is D-Chain, but being realistic, as a 1 in 32,000 drop, I highly doubt you're going to get it. If you do, you're lucky, and it's still really not worth that much. So, yeah, that's really all I have to talk about in this video. Those are some Slayer suggestions you could discuss and see what would be right for the game. I think they're pretty good, ideal, and I know some of them definitely should be taken into consideration, like task waiting is really a serious thing, because I just kind of started getting Slayer points now. I just reached that point where I just figured out I might as well just keep going, see what I get. I'm at a higher enough level where I can pretty much do every task now without having to worry about dying. So it's very helpful for lower levels to not have to worry about getting black dragons or steel dragons and mithril dragons at a lower level and very frequently, because I skipped somewhere in the range of almost 170 tasks trying to get Abyssal Demons today. In one session, one sitting, I didn't get them for 170 task changes. And I got Mithril Dragons pretty much more than anything, and it's a very low quantity of them, of course, but they're really hard to kill. I don't have the gear to go and kill them, nor do I want to go kill them. So, that being said, have a good one.